moved back at my parents at 30, and I've never felt calmer, better, healthier, richer ever since that decision. That video might be a monumental fail because I wanted to make a soup and I was like, I'm gonna make the video while I make that soup. So it might get loud with some kitchen noise, but whatever. We're going for it. So I've been wanting to make this video for a while now. Hello, Misty. Hi, baby. It might be chaotic, I'm warning you. And as Eric from the Power of I Am channel says, we only do one take videos here, so you gotta bear with me. It's gonna be a long one, so if you don't have time, if you don't wanna stick around for the whole thing, I won't be sad. It's okay. I have a bunch of notes here. I'll be needing those because we're multitasking, guys. We're doing this. Ça part, comme on dit. So, yeah, I am back at my parents at 30, and I've been obviously not screaming this on the roof of my, we say in French, j'ai pas crié ça sur le toit. I didn't scream that on the roof because obviously it's not something that one is proud of. Like, in our society, it kind of, it feels, seems, and looks like failing and regressing and taking a step back in life. But in my case, it has been only beneficial, brought me only good things. And so I felt like doing this video and being completely honest, transparent, authentic, and vulnerable was what I wanted to do. Because I know I'm not the only one who is going through some things in her life and wish that someone else would have told her that it's normal and that it does get better. And so I have 5 gold nuggets, 5 turning points, 5 elements, plot twists, call them whatever you want, that brought me to the place where I am now, which means a place where I have landed my biggest contract ever, an opportunity that I am extremely happy with, proud of having manifested. It's crazy that I manifested this job so easily, and it literally has my name on it. It was made for me. I got rid of all the clients that were draining my energy without it affecting my finances negatively. To the contrary. I'm gonna keep talking. You can't see me anymore, but I have my mic on. I have healed my ribs, which have been hurting me and putting me in severe pain for almost a year now, and that finally healed. And I can tell you that my chiropractor was telling me for months and months and months that it was related to my emotions. And so yes, it has to do with the changes that I've made in my life recently, and not only physical relief. So stay with me if you are going through some sort of physical pain as well, and that you've tried everything and that nothing has been helpful to you. So if you're burnt out, you're stressed out, you're in debt, your finances are not well, or that your life looks on the outside like it's going well, but really on the inside you are screaming for help, your body is unhappy and is sending you signals that it's unhappy, this video is for you. And obviously, moving back with my parents did not heal my ego. But I do feel less and less in my ego about it. And that's why I am finally ready and happy to talk about this. Because at the end of the day, it's all a matter of mindset and the way you, perspective. Like, instead of seeing it as, what the fuck, I'm 30 and I'm going back to my parents, being like, wow, I actually get to go back to my parents because they're still alive, because they love me, because they greeted me with open arms. And I know so many people, and I have goosebumps saying this, that would do anything to be in my situation and would do anything to have their parents still alive, or parents that they talk to and that they're in good terms with, that happily open their arms and welcome them back home. So that's a huge thing. And so gold nugget number 1 that I want to share with you that helped me manage to have more money than I've ever had in my bank account this past month and a half than I've had in the past 4 years of being self-employed, of being an entrepreneur and living solely of my business. So number 1 thing, if you want to take notes, take this down, was radical honesty with myself. Becoming super, super honest with myself and stop lying to myself about my situation, about how I felt, about how things were going, and to finally look at it in the eye and be like, no, this is enough. This is not the life that I signed up for. I am not well. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, I am not well. I am not well. I admitted to myself that I was dysregulated, even though I was doing some practices to regulate myself. When your finances, when your core and bottom line safety isn't fulfilled, isn't well, forget about all your practices. It won't do shit for you. You have to solve this first. You have to have all your basic needs met. Your finances need to make sense. And I'm telling you what worked for me. So you do you, but this is what worked for me. So I was honest about being exhausted, honest about my lifestyle, that it was not allowing me to rest and to be happy and to feel stable. Honest about the fact that this lifestyle was sucking more out of me than it was giving back, which is absolutely unacceptable, and that is not how life works. Life is supposed to be effortless and fun to live. And when you give out, you're supposed to receive multiplied. So that was not working. Okay, let's see if that's gonna be loud. Not too bad. I also had to admit to myself that money would not grow where denial lived, okay? And that's where sometimes Delulu is the Sululu can be misinterpreted. I'm all for Delulu is the Sululu. You'll see throughout this video that this is absolutely one of the key ingredients, but it's not the only one. There's a difference between being delusional and lying to yourself when it comes to discomfort and being in misalignment in your life. So if you are the type of person that is afraid to look at her bank account because you know damn well what's going on in there, then you are lying to yourself. Because you have to be able to look at it. Even if what you see is not what you want to see, you have to be able to look at it. And we'll talk about this later in this video. But it shouldn't be generating any sort of emotion to look at your bank account, even if it's not what you want to see. And so if you're not getting triggered by the amount that's in there or panicked, there's no reason that you wouldn't look at it. You have to start creating some sort of a relationship with money. Otherwise, you're just being a little fuckboy with your bank account. And this won't lead you to anything healthy or good. Same goes with relationships, and you already know this. So that was, the first thing was radical honesty. Number 2 that I did was that I chose regulation over appearance. And by that I mean I chose peace over what will people think, what does it look like being 30 and, some sort of looking like I made it because I have a business that runs and I have multiple clients and I'm generating a decent amount of money every month, but not being able to make it work out because physically I was exhausted, I was not functional. And no matter how much money you generate, if you're dysregulated, you will never keep it. It will never stay with you. It will always leak, slip through your fingers. And yeah, it'll be an endless battle of chasing your own tail. Oh my God, no, the onions, they're burning my eyes. I told you this was going to be chaotic. You've got what you signed up for. So yes, regulation over appearance. Moving back at my parents really forced me to slow down. And their life is very routine-based. My parents are both cancers and they love being at home. They love making food at home, doing home-cooked meals. For them, it's a luxury. They love inviting people over. They're not people that go out all that much. They're very good with their money. If they don't have the money to buy anything, they don't spend the money. And that made them very successful. And they own multiple buildings in Montreal. And they have managed to do a lot with very little. And so it forced me to be in their environment and live at their pace. And there's a thing that we call co-regulation that plays a huge role in our lives. And I've started co-regulating with them and adapting to their rhythm, to their pace, and that has been extremely healthy for me. I started to fall in love and to train myself to fall in love with doing nothing, with doing things slowly, with doing things that have nothing to do with being productive, with generating money, but simply to regulate myself. So I started really taking things slowly, and at first it was hard because I would see everyone online, the coaches in my industry, traveling and going to seminars and huge events all around the world, and accomplishing so much and launching new products left and right. And I felt like I was behind, and I was really like, is there something wrong with me? I'm not able to keep up with that pace. But I trained myself and rewired my brain to feel safe in slowness, feeling safe in not doing as much for the sake of money and productivity in my business. And maybe you've guessed it, but what started happening as I softened, as I slowed down, as I felt safer and safer and safer into this new rhythm of life, tension started leaving my body. I went to a physio for the first time because my intuition became louder, because when you slow down, you're able to hear yourself better. And my intuition kept telling me, what you need is fascia release, because your body has been in such fight or flight and tension for years, and specifically this past year. And your fascia has been trying to protect you from that. And it's so tight that it's keeping the muscles tensed at all times. And so I went to a physio and he did some fascia release on me. And since I had done the inner work, the emotional work, the fascia started releasing more and more. And it wouldn't have been able to release if I hadn't done the inner work, and if I hadn't slowed down and brought my body in a place of safety. It would have stayed clenched. And so that's a sign again that, when you listen to yourself and you slow down, things start getting better physically, mentally, spiritually. My diaphragm even started loosening up, and it had been tensed for my whole life pretty much. I've always been a shallow breather, someone that feels tensed all the time, that gets startled easily, really just naturally anxious from nature. And my mom is like that, my grandmother is like that, so I'm also healing my lineage through the work that I'm doing, which is, I find, incredible. And so all of this has been really, really, really getting better in my body. And you know what happens when you feel better in your body, when you feel like you're breathing better, when you feel like you're calm, your confidence just starts building. And when you talk to people and they're dysregulated, you notice it right away, and it makes you feel even more in control and proud of yourself. And it's just a positive ripple effect throughout your whole life. And I feel like I became even better at managing my business, managing my team, managing my clients, because I'm feeling anchored in what I do, and it makes them feel anchored, and it's, again, co-regulation. So that was number 2. Number 3, I stopped giving away my power. And what I mean by that is that I stopped, first of all, awful that I was doing that, and I really didn't see why it was bad, but I was consuming content about healing all the time on TikTok, on Instagram, with ChatGPT, constantly trying to understand how can I heal this, how can I heal that, and like nervous system regulation, which is good, like I recommend doing it, but there's a very fine line between it becoming the problem and it becoming the solution for what you're going through. And so there's a very basic principle and rule in the laws of the universe that we live in, and it is that you get what you put your attention on. And so if you keep putting your attention on what you don't want, aka in my case, being unwell, being dysregulated, being not good enough, not sick, but like unhealed, and not in the right state to receive money and to be good and to be calm in my body and anchored and confident. And so I stopped completely listening to that sort of content, and I shifted into listening to content that was promoting mindset, beliefs, and ways of being and acting in my life that had to do with what I want. And what I want is easy and simple. It's what most people want. It's to feel safe, to feel grounded, to feel abundant, to be happy, to be free, to be able to live the life that I dream of. And so how is consuming content about healing constantly because I'm not enough and I'm not healed going to get me where I want to get? That was a huge turning point in that journey. And I can tell you how fast things started shifting when I started doing that. I would say that was one of the most important things that I've started doing, or should I say I stopped doing, to be able to manifest everything that I've manifested in less than a month and a half. I also stopped spiraling, catastrophizing, and feeding what wasn't going well in my life, and when things weren't happening fast enough to doubt the process. I stopped doing that, and that's where the delulu starts coming into the equation. I started being delusional and saying, well, what I'm seeing in my 3D reality is not what I know to be true inside, and so why am I rewarding it with my attention, acknowledging it, keeping it alive? Because it is not true. It is not my reality. And allowing the old script to run out, and to just know that what does not belong in my reality shall pass. So that's something else that I've started doing. And my current motto, I'm sharing it with you if you want to borrow it, is everything in my life always works out perfectly for me. Whenever I have a micro moment of doubt, whenever I start feeling like, okay, it's taking longer than I would like, why is my reality not looking the way I want it to be? I remember that my reality already is how I want it to be inside. And everything is always working out perfectly for me. And not giving in to the illusion of the 3D. That was number 3. Number 4, I cleaned my life big time. I did a huge cleanup on multiple levels. Instead of simply chasing motivation or external things that you really don't have control over. Motivation is not even a real thing. And so I didn't manifest everything that I manifested by journaling harder, doing more practices. As I told you, it's the opposite. I manifested by removing things from my life, by cleaning my environment, the people in my life, the relationships. I started cooking again and viewing it as a luxury. And I removed, cleaned up, ordering out, eating things that weren't serving my highest self. I started buying groceries more intentionally, which also made me save money. So it reduced expenses that were not even good. So you see how everything ties together. You're saving money and you're nourishing your body better. And the process of cooking feels like you're gifting yourself something for your future you too. It's like self-love for the future version of you that is going to benefit from that care. I started tracking my money calmly. And I'm so lucky that I have a great friend of mine that sat down. She was so poised and calm and helped me look at everything, my expenses, and we saw that there were many things that I could also unsubscribe for that were just like energy leaks in my bank account. And so we did all of this, and she helped me do financial projections for repaying debts and loans and whatnot. And just doing this exercise and seeing it visually of like, okay, it's realistic to expect that in 13 months I'm going to have paid off everything. It gives you hope back that when you refuse to look at it, you're just living in the unknown. And sometimes what happens is that you'll just have this mindset of like, fuck it, I'll just spend on that because anyways, I'm never going to be able to pay back all of this that I owe. And you get stuck in that loop. And energetically, I don't even have to tell you what that does. So those were things that I did as well in that mega cleanup. And I started paying off loans and debts with auto payments, without drama, with happiness, feeling proud of myself for taking control and rebuilding that relationship to myself also, that trust and that safety. Because if your body and your subconscious knows that you can't even trust yourself to take care of yourself and to pay your debts and to take care of money and this and that and to provide for yourself, how do you expect yourself to trust that it's going to get better? So your body and your subconscious mind starts distrusting you. I don't know if that's even a thing you can say, but you have to rebuild trust with yourself. Trust that you will get up and go to the gym or yoga. Trust that you will provide. Trust that you will pay off debts. Trust that you do have a plan for the future. Remember, there's a mini version of you that lives within you, your inner child, and you have to make it feel safe. And that's the most beautiful proof of love that you can give yourself ever. So in that phase of cleanup, I really locked in. And that's something that was gravitating in my field on TikTok and wherever I would look around me. There was this concept of like a a lockdown for yourself, of locking in, of just cutting out all the noise and the things that aren't aligned with where you're going, locking in and doing you. And you are the priority. You say no to anything that doesn't align and that doesn't serve you, that doesn't make you grow, glow, be happy, and reach your goals. And so I even cleaned up some friendships and some relationships that were not bringing back the energy and the love and the joy that I was putting out in the world through these relationships. And again, I regained so much time. And a thing that the ones of you who already follow me know that I did is that I cleaned up my social media. I stopped posting every day and leaking my energy on creating posts on Instagram that no one was reading or liking. I stopped doing that. The people that are meant to watch this video will watch it, because life is that perfect. It is that perfect. There is no need to force anything. And that's what I'm doing now. There's no more forcing. We're going with the law of least resistance. We're locked in. And number 5, which is, in my opinion, the most important, is that I chose. I made a decision. I made a rational choice. Even if that choice was scary, even if I didn't know what the outcome would be, even if it felt like taking steps back, going back to my parents, when I should be, doing so many great things at 30, like, I don't know, raising a family. And I chose. And you have to remember that there are no wrong decisions. There are no wrong decisions. There are only different paths to go to the same destination, because your destiny is already traced. You already know what you want. You know what you want. You know when you close your eyes, in your soul, in your heart, in your body, where you want to go. And it's up to God. It's up to life. It's up to the universe. It's up to that great spirit, that higher energy, to get you there. The how is not your job. And so make a decision, choose, no matter what that is. If it's to go back to your parents' place, if it's to get that apartment you've been eyeing for a while, if it's to move to a different country, if it's to quit your job, the decision doesn't matter, but you have to make a decision, because there is nothing worse that you can do but to stay in the limbo, in the in-between. Oh, it was already open. Oops. We are getting our anti-inflammatory shot here. Yes, so make a decision today. No matter what it is, no matter how scary it is, and hold yourself through it. Talk to yourself out loud. I've got you. We're going through this together. I'm going to take care of you. Regulate yourself, and all is going to go well. I'm telling you, there is nothing worse than remaining in the limbo, in the in-between, in the unknown. This brings incredible amounts of uncertainty and dysregulates your body, your nervous system. It's the worst thing you can do to yourself. If you love yourself, make a decision. It might feel like a step back or a few step backs at first, but trust that it's all gonna go well. And when I tell you that at first I was really unhappy going back to my parents, I freaked out, I cried the first night, I thought I had made the worst mistake ever. I wanted to go back to my place so bad. I felt miserable. I felt like a failure also. And the more I allowed myself to lean in and to drop and kept doing my little regulation practices, my EFT, my embodiment, creating a routine and building point de repère. I don't know how you say that in English, but like reference points, and exploring the neighborhood again, because I haven't lived there in 11 years, and finding cute little places to go have coffee, and buying a book for coloring, and doing things that bring you into safety. And it will take time, but you have to trust that it's going to go much faster if you make a decision than if you stay stuck where you are now. I'm telling you, for over a year, I was sending resumes to jobs. I was prospecting. I was, prospecting for clients and bidding on so many mandates and everything. I was doing the work. I did everything that I could and nothing was working. And when I stopped trying so hard and I left the law of least resistance and I made a decision and I locked in and I chose me and I stopped rewarding my 3D reality when it became ugly or scary or not looking like what I wanted, everything happened so fast. In a month and a half, I'm telling you, I've never had that much money in my bank account than in the past 4 years of my life, if not more. My debts have gone down for like 50% of what they were. Now I have a financial cushion to live 3 months, to pay rent, to pay everything that I would have to pay, which I never had before. And no, it is not due to reducing expenses because of going to my parents' place, because my expenses are the same, whether I'm at my parents' or not. And so hopefully that video reached you exactly at the time that you needed it. And if there's anything else that you want to know, that you need help with, that you resonated with, comment below. I did not make this video to try to get new clients. I made this video because I felt like it was the right thing to do, to come up here and to be 100% vulnerable, 100% authentic, and telling my story just the way it is without making it sound or look nicer than it was, because life is this way. It is ugly and beautiful all at once. It has light and darkness, and it's in the way that we carry ourselves through those moments of darkness that changes everything. On that note, I'm gonna wish you a beautiful day, and as Eric would say, from the power of I am, I trust that it is a good day.